Coucou les coucous! De retour à Horace avec du monde qui crie. J'ai-tu la clé? Ben, j'ai la clé. $15 junk combo. Je sais pas pourquoi qu'ils en mettent dans l'eau. J'imagine que je vais pouvoir revenir de l'autre côté avec la switch qui est en haut. There's a trash can here that I don't know what to do with, and there's stuff in the bottom that I cannot. Can I? I cannot climb the ladder. On voit le building en feu, on voit le
The
parc.
screaming was coming from one of the bedrooms, but the stairs were blocked by a wall of fire.
A stair of fire, I would dare say.
The people screaming turned out to be a man, a woman, and their children. They were confused and terrified. At first the man looked like he was ready to fight me, but after I convinced them that I was there to help, he calmed down. There was no way I could carry them all at once, so the children went first.
Somehow, I don't know why they are affected by gravity. They are unaffected by gravity.
I dropped the children off at the front door and promised them that I would be back with their parents. I couldn't leave, not while people were in trouble. The fire was getting much worse, so the woman went next.
That's a bit odd.
When we got to the front door, all the woman said was, "Thank you, please hurry."
Okay.
By the time I managed to get back, the man was unconscious. I had to pick him up quickly, as I could tell the house was going to collapse at any moment.
J'ai pas rien pesé. Ok, je suis encore dans une cutscene puis j'essaie de pincer quelque chose. Hey, big boy! I cannot dash. Je dirais pas que je vais prendre cette porte-là, as far as I noticed. Parce que je peux pas sauter, ou je peux pas vraiment sauter avec Big Fella.
I helped the family set up a tent so they had somewhere to stay. The kids were excited as they got to camp outside, but I think they knew they had just lost their home. When I mentioned my quest to clean a million things, the man said I should look through the rubble of the house, as they had no use for it. So, when everyone was making dinner, I looked through the wreckage. There wasn't anything I could clean, but to my astonishment, I found a TV set and a games console. With a bit of fiddling I was able to get them to work. So I sat playing games with the kids until their parents said it was bedtime.
Wait,
As we
3
talked,
minutes.
the man opened a bottle of wine. I asked what had happened, why was everything so ruined? The man looked at the woman, then the woman sighed and said, "There was a war." "Yes, a war," said the man. One side of the planet attacked the other, and before we knew, it was all over. Everything gone. Everything destroyed.
Nearly did medium.
"Well, it's late," said the woman. "We should really get some sleep. Help yourself to anything you need, and we'll see you tomorrow."
Am I actually dozing off?
In the morning, I asked the man if he knew what had caused the fire that had destroyed their house. The man smiled. "Crap old house, bad wiring, constant electrical surges from the unreliable power plant. Take your pick." He said if we had the money, we'd move to the mainland. But we can barely feed ourselves, let alone buy a new house, so for now we're left here with the rest of the scum. But he did say I should head to the mainland, as there would be plenty there for me to clean, and a better quality of rubbish. The man said, "Before the war, my lovely wife used to be a fisherman." "Fisherwoman? Fishing person?" "I used to catch fish," interrupted the woman, "and, seeing as you saved us all from the fiery end, maybe you would like to borrow my boat to get to the mainland." I was a little scared, but then they gave me some captain software and I was an old salty sea dog within minutes.
Tanker, Tandoor, Soldier Pie, only 10 euros. 2 pork sausages, only 10 euros. Celebrity, 7 to 11 p.m. Ok, c'est une rue qui est effondrée, ça. Autre chose à cacher. Saint Healthcare.
I took the fisherman's boat to the mainland. The fisherman was right. Everything was in pieces. Everything had been destroyed. I docked the boat in some ruins. They must have once been a town.
Ils sont probablement mieux sur l'île, jusqu'à, en tout cas, en termes de bouffe. Pas en termes de bouffe, mais en termes... À part pour la bouffe, ils sont probablement mieux sur l'île. Pour la moitié sec.
I took the fisherman's boat to the old man's estate.
I am narrating in a very robotic narrator voice.
I took the fisherman's boat to the mainland.
Ok. Comment ça ressemblait à un contrat, ça là? Si je fais ça, je peux pas revenir. Ben, à vrai dire. Ça change rien si je peux pas revenir, je peux ramasser des choses pareilles. Le pilier, il revient tout seul. What? Cannot. It is impossible. Je suis pas capable d'embarquer sur le mur qui est ici. Hein. Ok. Commence à avoir des petites choses un peu différentes. Ah, fuck. Du moins, j'apprends comment naviguer de façon un peu différente. Good enough.
I was confronted by a lovable fat old dog. He almost looked pleased to see me. Suddenly, 3 men appeared holding large guns. Or at least 2 men and what looked to be a pregnant woman. Incredibly, it was Mr. Silton. I thought you'd been shut down, he said. I mean, it's been years. I'm not really sure what happened, I replied. I then told him about me cleaning a million things. He laughed and said, nothing changes. He then showed me into what was surprisingly a really nice house. Please excuse my husband, said the pregnant lady. I'm Edwina, but everyone calls me Eddie. I believe you know this idiot. And that's Preston. We've met, said the small man. It was me that delivered that thing, remember? All you used to deliver was weed, mumbled Mr. Silton as he put the dog dish on the floor. And I was there that night, when this twat was off his face on mushrooms. Thanks for letting me and the dog stay, by the way. Yeah, well, we like the dog, said Mrs. Silton. But I suppose I've got you to thank for us meeting. What with you giving Barry those dodgy magic mushrooms? She pulled out an old photograph. It was one that Heather had taken the night I had saved Mr. Silton. It reminded me of everyone else, so I asked what had happened to them.
They all died.
Mr. Silton said Alice had a small place in the countryside. The professor had holed up in one of the old man's factories. Mr. Deck was, believe it or not, now a presenter on the only state television channel. And Heather and her mother lived on a government compound where they both worked. I asked about the old man, surprised that Mr. Silton hadn't mentioned him. He's dead, said Mr. Silton. Sorry, I thought you knew. Anyway, said Mr. Preston, I thought you said that robot thing found the mushrooms for you, in that hoarder's manky old barn. Mr. Silton looked embarrassed. Well, said Mrs. Silton, I guess we've got you to thank for getting us together then. Time for bed, I think, said Mr. Silton.
Encore la
Make
nuit.
yourself comfy, and we'll see you in the morning.
Remarque, je sais pas, le trip de bateau comptait pour combien de temps, là? No. Et là, c'est un symbole d'Illuminati. Sur la porte, là. OK. I dream of electric sheep, clairement. Can I? OK, oui, je peux. I don't leave me, Mr. Old Man. Oh non, non, c'est moi qui plantais du nez, là. Home is where the heart is. Finding a way home. Pliny the Elder.
The next day, I
Dead
thought
on.
it might be a good time to ask about the war. Judging by the look on everyone's faces, it wasn't. Well, the war, said Mr. Silton. Barry interrupted his wife. Can I see you for a minute? And dragged Mr. Silton out of the room, leaving me with Mr. Preston.
Hey. Hey.
All of a sudden, Mr. Silton appeared. How about a tune-up, he said. Mrs. Silton started to make some food, and Mr. Preston was playing with the dog, leaving me to chat with Mr. Silton. I said that I really wanted to see everyone else, but Mr. Silton said that it wouldn't be that easy. Traveling now, especially for a robot, is complicated. Go back to the house, you could even do some cleaning. Wait there and I'll work out a way to get you to each of them. I told him that I couldn't get into the main house because the hallway ceiling had collapsed. I have just the thing, said Mr. Silton, as he pulled some sort of card out of his pocket. If you can get into the caves under the church next door to the house, you can use this security pass to get into the old man's laboratories. You can get into the main house that way. I was so excited, I would be able to get back into my old room. I said thanks, and made my way to the front door. Also, I think you might be able to help us out, said Mr. Silton, but we'll meet up back at the old man's house in a couple of days. You head there and we'll see you soon. The door was locked, but from behind it Mr. Silton shouted, "Go back to the old man's house."
Stuck dans le fond de l'eau. But I wanted to jump.
I wasn't sure what to do with this machine. The huge door was sealed shut. I wasn't sure how to get inside. The huge door was sealed shut. I wasn't sure how to get inside. I took the fisherman's boat to the old man's
Je me rappelle pas
estate.
d'avoir vu une church, mais je veux dire, s'il faut que je rentre dans l'Endstate, je pense que c'est pas comme si je vais traverser en dessous de l'eau, là. Une bombe, ça. On va retourner voir l'autre dude à droite. Quelque chose en bas? Non, ça a l'air d'être juste du toyotage. Ah. Good enough.
As I walked through the old church ruins, I was surprised to hear Mr. Silton calling me. He said he had forgotten to give me something, and the church's community hall would be the perfect place to try it out. As soon as we walked into the hall, Mr. Silton said he had a present for me. It was a pair of Atlas gloves. They made me think of the old blind man with the cat, and his stolen Atlas gloves. I wonder if Mr. Silton knew how lucky he was to still have them with a glove thief around. Mr. Silton asked me to try the gloves on, and start chucking things around. But not him. He was very clear about that. Mr. Silton suggested we clean the hall. Of course I knew when he said we, he meant me. But I was happy to try out my new gloves. He said I should clear everything off of the basketball court and put the things on the floor either side. I fiddled with the settings for a bit, but when Mr. Silton saw I was having trouble, he produced a small manual. He explained that pressing down and X would pick a thing up. X would then throw the thing, and if I wanted to place it on the floor, I should again press down and X. He looked more and more confused as he read all this, but eventually he finished by saying, "Well, I hope that made more sense to you than it did to me."
Même pas d'achievement? National Brownie Association. Ok, faut juste que je le garde enfoncé comme trop longtemps.
Mr. Silton sounded slightly annoyed when he said, "Come on, take all the stuff off the basketball court and chuck it either side." Oh. Oh. "Let's see what else these gloves can do," said Mr. Silton as he flicked through the manual. He actually looked quite excited when he explained that holding X while walking into or under a falling thing would allow me to catch it.
Ouais, ça j'ai
I
remarqué.
must admit, I was then really happy when he suggested we make it a game, and I try to catch 10 basketballs.
Ok, il pèse un bouton sur le côté, le gars. I got it! Il a juste tombé sur le plancher en premier.
Next, Mr. Silton suggested we make it a real game and see how quickly I could score 10 baskets.
Ça va t'en donner eu
I
un.
enjoyed this so much. It felt just like the good old days. Except Mr. Silton wasn't as forgiving as the old man.
Oh là ouais. A bit tedious. Un dernier. J'ai dit un dernier.
When I'd scored 10 baskets, Mr. Silton gave me what he called a high five. He said I now knew everything about the gloves and I should be able to continue through the basement of the church into the house. When I asked him if he was coming with me, he just laughed and said they would catch up with me in the main hall.
He's suspicious. Yep. Bon, on va appeler ça un épisode ici. Hein, ce mur-là, je suis capable de marcher dessus. Ben, plateforme-là. Alright. Donc, on va appeler ça un épisode ici. On va revenir la prochaine fois. Alors, au revoir et à bientôt.